classification of bone? What are the different types of classifications? No, not like this. This is not the way to classify. Based on what you are classifying? So first of all, mainly three types of classifications are there for bone. First is the based on the shape. Okay, based on shape, long bone, short bone, irregular bone, flat bone, whatever you have studied. Okay, these are the based on the shape classification is there. Next, based on the structure. Okay, as you can see, based on the structure, microscopic structure and macroscopic structure. This is also a classification. Okay, and another classification is there that is called developmental classification. Okay, that is membranous and cartilaginous. Okay, another type is there membrano-cartilaginous, that also you have to include. So like this, three types of classifications are there of the bone. So if anyone asks you or in the exam if it comes, don't write long bone, short bone. No. First of all, you have to mention based on what you are classifying. Okay, so first will be the based on shape. And whenever you are writing the name of any, for example, long bone, short bone, you have to mention the example. You have to know the example, right? So next, have you studied the based on structure classification based on structure? No, that we will be studying today. Okay, and then another classification is that is based on the development. Okay, so based on the classification, first we will discuss about the macroscopic structure. Okay, followed by the microscopic one. Now for macroscopic one, what you have to do, suppose you will take a long bone. We are taking long bone, the example why? Easy to understand. That's why I am taking the example of long bone. Now if you take a long bone, can you see this is a long bone? Now before going to the long bone, do you know the parts of long bone? What are the parts? No, upper and lower and then shaft. This is a mature long bone. And I hope you know the parts of growing long bone. Epiphysis, diaphysis, epiphysis, right? Okay, good. Now, if suppose you have taken a mature long bone, okay? You have taken a mature long bone and then you have taken a LS of that bone. I hope you know what is LS. LS and TS. Not TS, you have taken a LS. Then you can open the bone. Okay, once you open, you can see the interior structure of the bone. Why we take LS and TS? To study the internal structure. As simple as that. So same in case of bone, you have taken a LS, you have opened it so that you can see the interior or the internal structure. So whatever you can see from your own eyes without using anything, okay, that is the macroscopic structure. And in that, what includes the compact bone and the spongy bone. In that, what you will be getting? Compact bone and the spongy bone. Okay. Now, for your reference, I have used one diagram over here. So which type of bone is this? No. Which type of bone is this? Long bone. Okay. So LS is taken. After that, can you see this dense particular area of the bone? The outer aspect of the bone. This is called as cortical bone. This is called as cortical bone, or also called as compact bone. Cortical bone or the compact bone. And the interior one, can you see the spongy appearance? Okay, that is also called as the spongy bone or cancellous bone. Spongy bone or cancellous bone. Okay, so I have shown you. Further we will be discussing about the structure. Okay, next now what is there in the compact bone and what is there in the spongy bone? For that, what you have to do? We need microscope in order to study in detail. Okay, for that the structure will be lamellar and the oven bone. So those are the microscopic structure. Okay. So first let's discuss about the compact bone and the spongy bone, and then we'll go into the microscopic one. Now here you can see I have shown the microscopic images also. Okay, this is how it appears. This is the oven bone and this is the lamellar bone. Okay. So first we'll see the compact bone. So compact bone, as I said, it is also called as cortical bone. Okay, the outer part is made up of compact bone. Okay. Now it is much denser and harder as compared to the spongy bone. The compact bone forms the cortex, the harder outer shell of most of the bones. Next, compact bone is formed by the number of osteons. Okay, this is very important. So inside the compact bone, you will see that osteons are there. Now what is osteon? We will be discussing about that, don't worry. So these compact bones are formed by number of osteons. Now these are the circular units of the bone material. Next, each osteon is also composed of number of cells responsible for maintenance of the bone. For example, osteocytes, osteoblasts, etc. Okay. Next, if you see the function of the compact bone, so compact bone is the main structure of the body for support, protection, and movement. Okay. So I have shown you in the diagram, on the outer aspect the compact bone is present. Okay, so any protection provided by the bone, that is by the compact bone. Okay. Next, you can see due to the strong nature of the compact bone compared to the spongy bone, it is preferred to as the tissue strength. So tissue strength provided by the bone is of the compact one. Now it also serves as function for storing and releasing calcium whenever it is required, this compact bone. It also provides strong mechanical levers against which the muscles can create movement. That means when the muscles are attached, okay, which are causing movements. So various joints are there. These joints are crossed by the muscles, and we can do various movements. So those muscles, they will go and they will attach to the bone. You have studied the muscle attachment. Now where they are attaching? They are attaching into the compact bone. They are inserted into the compact bone. Next, this function is supported by the joints created by spongy bone and connective tissue such as tendons, ligament. Okay, so these tendons, ligaments, whatever you have studied in synovial joint, they are also attached to the compact bone. Okay, so these are some important functions of the compact bone. Levers means whenever the movements are taking place in the synovial joint. Okay, so at that time there are two terminology used, levers and fulcrum. Okay, so that is directly related to the synovial joint. Okay, whenever those movements are taking place, means so three types of levers are there: first class lever, second class, third class lever. You have not studied the synovial joint. So in synovial joint, these levers are there, three classes of levers. Okay, next you can see the this is the which bone? Compact bone, and inside this you can see the spongy bone. So spongy bone, what is the appearance? Porous appearance. Okay, and outer and rigid appearance is the compact bone. Next, if you see the spongy bone, it is trabecular in appearance, also called as cancellar's bone or trabecular bone. Okay. The spongy bones are lighter, softer and weaker as compared to the cortical bone. Lighter, softer and weaker. Now these spongy bone which are present inside the long bone which I have shown over here, it also does an important function. What is that? It reduces the weight of the bone. It is a very important function. If it is completely made up of compact bone, then what will happen? The weight of the bone will increase. Okay, so because of those porous nature of the spongy bone, it reduces the weight of the bone. It is also important function. Next, as you can see, softer, lighter and weaker. Next, the spongy bone is found in the inside of some bones, and it is surrounded by stronger and more protective compact bone. So the interior of the bone, mainly it is made up of spongy bone. Okay. Now, have you heard about the marrow cavity? Bone marrow cavity? Yes. Okay. So it is related to that. We'll see. We'll discuss. Now, spongy bone is composed of cells. It is called as osteocytes. Along with that, these osteocytes are present in small cavities. These are called as lacuna. Lacuna are there where these particular osteocytes are present. Next, the lacuna and their accompanying osteocytes are housed in a trabecula of matrix along with the bone marrow. So that's why I've asked you, have you heard about the bone marrow or not? Okay. So what happens in case of spongy bone? The lacuna which are there, inside that what is present? Osteocytes are present. Okay. And they are enclosing certain areas, and inside that area bone marrows are present. Now, though bone marrow is there, so along with that blood vessels are also there which can travel easily through it. Next, osteocytes position close to the blood vessel can take the nutrients and can expel the metabolic waste products. Okay. Now this lacunae, so many lacunae will be there. So one lacunae connected to another lacunae with the help of canaliculi. and in that canaliculi the processes of osteocytes are present. Okay, today we'll study about the bones of the cells also. At that time I'll show you the osteocytes and its processes. Now spongy bone can be converted into compact bone as the action of osteoblast whenever it is required. Okay, for example, when development is taking place or new bone formation is there, at that time this spongy bone can be converted into compact bone. Now here you can see the function of spongy bone. It is storing minerals, bone marrow, site for erythropoiesis, and reduces the weight of the skeleton. Okay. Now if you see the diagram, this particular part is the compact bone. This is also the compact bone. In between the compact bone, can you see the porous like appearance? Okay, this is the spongy bone. So this appearance is also called as trabecular appearance. Okay, this appearance is also called as trabecular appearance, as you can see over here. Okay, now in the trabecular appearance, can you see the spaces? Can you see the spaces? Now inside those spaces, what are present? Bone marrow are present, and along with the bone marrow, the cells of the bone marrow, minerals of the bone marrow, and the blood vessels are also present. Okay, so up to this much is the macroscopic, which you can see directly. Beyond that, suppose if you take this part and if you want to see further, then this will be the microscopic. For that you need microscope. Okay, now this is a comparison. This is a comparison between the compact bone and the spongy bone. Okay, so density, it is dense like an ivory, porous like a sponge. Haversian system, we will discuss what is Haversian system, don't worry. It is present in the compact bone. In case of spongy bone, it is absent. Next, arrangement of the bony lamellae, it is regular, here it is irregular. Location, outer region of the bone, here inner region of the bone. Bone marrow, here it is absent, but here the spaces which I have shown you, in that the bone marrow are present. Next, the body weight, how much percentage? You can say 75% is made up of compact bone and only 25% made up of spongy bone. Okay, this is the comparison. Done. Now next we'll go to the microscopic part. Okay, now before going to the microscopic part, let me show you this diagram. This is a beautiful diagram. Now in this diagram, so this is the outer aspect of the bone, this is the inner aspect of the bone. Okay. Now can you see a green color structure shown over here? Green color as a structure नहीं रहता है. For your understanding, the color codes are given. So what is this? This is periosteum. So last time I hope you remember we have studied about perichondrium, outer covering of the cartilage, right? So similarly in bone also outer covering is there, that is called as periosteum. Okay, in case of bone, endosteum is also there, don't worry, we have to study about that endosteum also, but here I am showing you the periosteum. So this is the outer aspect of the bone and this is the inner aspect of the bone. ठीक है, तो ये जो particular area है, this is the compact bone. Okay, this is the compact bone, as you can see. And this is the spongy bone, where the medullary cavity or marrow cavities are there. Inside that, what is present? Bone marrow. Along with that, blood vessels will also be there. Okay. Now next, what we have to do? Next we have to study about the microscopic structure, because I have mentioned that Haversian system is there, and in some areas osteocytes are present, lacuna are there. Okay, so all those are microscopic. Okay. Now in microscopic structure also, again two types are there, that is lamellar bone and the oven bone. Lamellar bone are the mature bone. Both are microscopic only, but these are the mature bone, and oven bone are immature or newly formed bone. Suppose fracture हो गया है, okay, after that what happens? Healing takes place. Whenever the healing takes place, at that time the bones which are formed, these are the oven bone. Gradually remodeling is taking place and then the lamellar bones are formed. Okay. Next, another example in case of embryo. Whenever the embryo is growing, at that time bones are also forming. At that time those are the oven bone. Okay. Gradually they will be replaced by the lamellar bone. Okay. So lamellar bones are the secondary bone created by the remodeling of the oven bone. Okay. Next, the lamellar bone has regular parallel alignment of the collagen sheets, very important, which are present in the lamellae. Okay, lamellae is plural, lamellas means single, Lamellus means single sheet of bone. Lamellae means one sheet, इसके ऊपर another sheet, इसके ऊपर another sheet of bone. Okay, those are the lamellar arrangement. So in the lamellar arrangement, what happens? The collagen fibers, they run parallel to each other. Okay. Next, it is highly organized in a concentric sheet with much lower proportion of osteocytes in the surrounding tissue. Now, if you see the lamellar arrangement, three different types of lamellae are present. Okay, three different types of lamellae are there. First, you can see the concentric lamellae is there. I hope you know the meaning of concentric lamellae. Concentric means, what is the meaning of concentric? Means one center, multiple circle. That is the concentric. Okay, so three types of lamellae are there, which we'll be discussing. Among them, the most common one is the concentric lamellae. Okay, so one center will be there and multiple circles will be there. Okay, next, suppose one concentric lamellae, another concentric lamellae, in between that the space which is there, that is called interstitial lamellae. It is called interstitial lamellae. Another type of lamellae is there which is situated just below the periosteum. It is called as circumferential lamellae. Okay? So all these cases, the lamellae whichever I have mentioned, in that the arrangement of the fibers are different. Okay? That also we have to study. Next, the lamellar bone are stronger and filled with many collagen fibers parallel to each other. Okay. In cross section, the fibers run opposite direction in the alternating layers. This is also important. In alternating layers, they are opposite to each other. The direction. This kind of structural arrangement assists bone to get the resist the ability of torsional force or torsion force. Torsion force means twisting force. Okay. Because of this particular arrangement, the bone can resist twisting force. Okay. Now just follow this one. This is very important. The structure of any adult bone where the lamellar arrangement is there. Okay. That is made up of lamellae. Now what is the meaning of lamellae? These are thin sheets of bone. Now if anyone asks you, so many times I have mentioned lamellae, lamellae, lamellae. Now what exactly are those lamellae? These are the thin sheets of bone. Okay. And as I said, lamellae are plural. Lamellas means single. Okay. Next, each lamellus is a thin plate of bone. Now it is made up of what? It is made up of collagen fibers, mineral salts deposited in the gelatinous ground substance. So see, all those three components of connective tissues are seen over here. Okay. So lamellar arrangement means multiple lamellae will be there. Now if you take one lamellae, inside that lamellus will be there. Means single sheet of bone will be there. Now that single sheet of bone, it is made up of what? It is made up of collagen fibers. Along with that, the mineral salts are there, which are deposited in a gelatinous ground substance. Clear? Between the adjoining lamellae, there are small flattened spaces, and these are called as lacunae. Okay, so one sheet is there, another sheet is there. So this is one lamellus, this is one lamellus. In between the two lamellus, flattened spaces are there. Now these flattened spaces are called as lacunae. And inside the lacunae, what is present? Osteocytes are present. Inside this lacunae, what are present? Osteocytes are present. Okay. Now another important point. So these lacunae which are there between the adjacent plates, they are interconnected to each other. It is not like this that only two plates will be there. Multiple plates are there. Multiple lamellae are there. Okay. So multiple lacunae will be there. So one lacunae, another lacunae, they are connected to each other. How they are connected? By the canaliculi. And through that canaliculi, the osteocytic processes, okay, is to travel. Because osteocytes are having cytoplasmic processes. So they used to travel through those canaliculi. So each lacuna consists of osteocytes spreading out from each lacuna. There are fine canals known as canaliculi, okay, that communicate with the adjacent lacuna. These canaliculi are occupied by delicate cytoplasmic processes of osteocytes. Okay? Now please focus in the diagram. Can you see the lamellar arrangement? Can you see the lamellar arrangement? This is a 3D diagram to make you understand how the sheets of bones are placed over another. So this is one lamellus, this is one lamellus. Okay, this is one lamellus. In between the lamellus, can you see a small flattened space is there? ठीक है, तो उसके अंदर क्या है? What is present? Osteocytes. I hope you can see the osteocytes are there. Next, you can also see the processes of the osteocytes. You can see the processes of the osteocytes. Okay, and you can see the canaliculi. ये देखो, can you see the canaliculi? So through that canaliculi, what is passing? The cytoplasmic processes of the osteocytes. Because of that, the integrity of the canaliculi are maintained. Okay. If nothing is going through the canaliculi, then the space will be obliterated. Though the cytoplasmic processes are present, that's why the integrity is maintained. Okay. So that is the lamellar bone. Next is the oven bone. So what do you think? What will be the oven bone? These are newly formed or immature bone, where lamellar arrangements are not there. Haphazard arrangement are present. Okay. As you can see, oven bone are characterized by haphazard organization of the collagen fibers, and they are mechanically weak. All fetal bones, that means bones of the fetus, are the example of oven bone. Okay. Then after fractures, the initial bone which forms, these are also the oven bone. Okay. And after that, the oven bone will be converted into the lamellar bone. Now the oven bone is basically either immature or pathologic bone. Now compared to the lamellar bone, oven bone has much more osteocytes because they are newly forming. That's why more number of osteocytes will be present in the oven bone as compared to the lamellar bone. Please keep that in mind. Now oven bone are more weaker, flexible than the lamellar bone. Now here you can see the diagram. This is the oven bone and this is the lamellar bone. ठीक है. Now in the beginning I have shown you the macroscopic structure and microscopic structure. In the classification I have mentioned. ठीक है. Now in the macroscopic we have seen the compact bone and we have seen the spongy bone. Right? I have shown you where the compact bone is present and where the spongy bone is present. And you have seen the macroscopic structure. Means we have taken the LS, we have opened it, then we have seen. ठीक है. अभी उसका microscopic structure देखना है. We have to see the microscopic structure of that particular compact bone and the spongy bone. What will be the appearance? Now before going to that, as I said, bone is a connective tissue, specialized connective tissue. That means all the components will be there. Can you see the cells? Okay. Then you can see the matrix. Now in the matrix, two parts are there: organic part and inorganic part. Now osteoprogenitor cell, osteoblast, osteocyte, osteoclast. These are the cells and the bone lining cells. These are the number of cells present in the bone. In case of cartilage, we have seen only two types of cells are there: chondrocytes and chondroblast. That's it. But bones में बहुत type का cells रहता है. Okay, as you can see, different types of cells are there, and we'll see what are the functions of these cells. Next, the matrix which is there, it is having two parts: organic part and the inorganic part. तो inorganic part में क्या रहेगा? What do you think? What will be present in the inorganic part? Calcium salts. In short, if you say what are present in the inorganic part, calcium salts are there. Can you see the calcium salts? Okay, so calcium salts are present in the inorganic part. Organic part में क्या रहेगा? Fibers are there, as you can see. Type 1 collagen fibers, along with that proteoglycans and glycoproteins are there. Okay, so this is showing that bone is also a connective tissue, but specialized. Now in this case, can you tell me what are the modification? Where the modification has been taken place? Three components are there, as you can see. So three components are present in other connective tissue also. Then why we are calling bone as a special?
Fibers and ground substance.
No, fibers, ground substance. Yes, which part of the ground substance? Inorganic part of the ground substance. Till now, whatever we have studied in that, we have never seen that calcium salts are present in the ground substance, right? But here you can see the calcium salts are present. So this is a modification in the ground substance of the bone. That's why it is treated as specialized connective tissue. Okay. Microscopic structure of a cancellous or spongy bone. Okay. Now, if you see the cancellous or spongy bone, I have shown you the appearance: trabecular or meshwork-like appearance. These are called as trabeculae. Each trabeculus made up of number of lamellae, between which lacunae are there, where the osteocytes are present. So trabecular arrangement is there. Beyond that, if you see, lamellar arrangement will be there, lacunae will be there. Okay, all those things will be present in the spongy bone also. Canaliculi will also be there, but the trabeculae will enclose wide spaces. The trabeculae which are there, it will enclose wide spaces, and in those spaces bone marrow along with that blood vessels will be present. Okay, so that is the appearance for spongy or cancellous bone. Now the trabeculae are covered externally. Now here is the most important thing. The trabeculae are covered externally by a vascular layer that is called as endosteum. Okay, so the trabeculae which are there externally, they are covered by a vascular layer, and that is called as endosteum. Now in that endosteum, osteoblast and osteocyte cells are present. Okay, so as you can see, already I have shown you this one. This is the trabecular arrangement of the spongy bone. Okay, now here you can see the spaces. Here you can see the spaces. So these spaces are filled by bone marrow and blood vessels. Next, if you take one trabeculus and then if you make a slide, then this will be the appearance. Okay, now yeah. So this is the schematic diagram, histological schematic diagram. Okay, this diagram you have to draw in practical notebook. जो practical notebook, whatever you are maintaining, in that practical notebook, this you have to draw. Now after drawing the diagram, in the figure what you will write? Microscopic structure of spongy bone. Okay, I have not written, but you have to write microscopic structure of spongy bone, and then you have to draw the diagram in practical notebook. Please note it down. Now what you can see over here? What you can see? First of all, I hope you can see the periosteum. Right, you can see the periosteum. Then you can see the trabeculae. This is trabeculae, these are trabeculae. Okay, trabecular arrangement. Now in between the trabeculae, can you see the large spaces are there? Large spaces. Right, now inside the spaces, what you can see? The marrow cavities, where the cells of the marrow are present, means cells of the bone marrow are present. Okay, and along with that you can see the blood vessels. See, these are the blood vessels. Okay, so only that much you have to follow. Now जो trabeculus है, as I said, trabecular arrangement is there. You can see this is the trabecular arrangement. Now this trabeculus, this particular part is lined by endosteum. As you can see, this is lined by endosteum. ठीक है? Why I am showing you this? So that you will be having an idea where periosteum and where endosteum is present. Okay, so see where the periosteum is present and see where the endosteum is present. Okay, so the surface of the bone which is facing towards the marrow cavity, the spongy bone part which is facing towards the marrow cavity, that is lined by a vascular membrane that is called as endosteum. Okay. So another diagram is there. Okay, you can. Another diagram is there where you can see all the parts whatever we have discussed. Okay, so what you will do, this diagram is microscopic diagram, means just under microscope, whenever you are focusing the slide under microscope, this appearance will be there. But for drawing, it will be better if you draw this diagram. Okay, this is the easier diagram. And after drawing, what will be the name of the figure? Structure of spongy bone. Okay, next, microscopic structure of compact bone. Okay, microscopic structure of compact bone. Now in compact bone, when you examine the compact bone under microscope, what you will see? First of all, you will see the concentric lamellae preceded by lacunae and canaliculi. Same thing. Okay, same thing will be there. Next, most of the lamellae, but here the trabecular arrangement is not present, like spongy bone. Next, most of the lamellae are arranged in the form of concentric rings, and a narrow Haversian canal is present at the center of the ring. This is very important. Concentric lamellae is there. At the center, there will be a canal, and it is called as Haversian canal. Okay, concentric lamellae, you know what is concentric structure. At the center, there will be a canal, and what is the name of the canal? Haversian canal. Now, the canal is occupied by blood vessels, nerves, and some cells. Okay. Now, why Haversian canal is present? Because the compact bone, as I said, it is very rigid, ivory-like. So the blood vessels cannot pierce it. but bone is a living tissue. It needs blood supply, it needs nerve supply. Without blood supply, bone can't survive. You should know that. Okay, I hope you have studied about the blood supply of bone. So why blood supply is required? Because it is a living tissue, right? So for that, how the blood will flow into the various part of the bone? Through this Haversian canal. That's why Haversian canal is present at the center of the concentric lamellae, where the blood vessel don't have to pierce anything. It can easily flow through that canal. What? No. Periosteum is a covering. Periosteum बाहर रहता है, totally बाहर, outside. Now, see, I hope you have heard about the osteon. So, one Haversian canal and the lamellae around it constitute the osteon. One Haversian canal and the lamellae, concentric lamellae, which is present around it, it is called as osteon. Next, between the adjoining osteon, there are angular intervals, that is called interstitial lamellae. Okay, so concentric lamellae, between the two concentric lamellae, the space which is present, it is called as interstitial lamellae. The interstitial lamellae are the older lamellae. Next, near the surface of the compact bone, the lamellae which are present, they are arranged parallel to the surface, and these are called as circumferential lamellae. In circumferential also, outer layer is there, inner layer is there. Okay. Next, Haversian canals run predominantly throughout the length of the bone. Means any part of the bone, the Haversian canal is present. Now this Haversian canal, so suppose Haversian canal is there, it is connecting with the marrow cavity, it is connecting with the exterior by a canal, and it is called as Volkmann's canal. Okay, Volkmann's canal. Mainly Volkmann's canal, what it will do, it will connect the Haversian canal into the exterior. जो exterior के साथ Haversian canal को connect करके रखता है, that is called the Volkmann's canal. Okay. So here you can see now this particular part. So this is a cut section of the bone where you can see this. Can anyone identify which part of bone is this? Spongy, inner one. Okay, where those marrow cavities are present. Next, this particular part is the compact bone, and this is the periosteum. Okay, this is the periosteum. Now, can you see the Haversian canal? Can you see the Haversian canal? Now see, Haversian canal is communicating with the marrow cavity, and it is communicating with the exterior also. How it is communicating? Through Volkmann's canal. Okay. So why I am showing you this? Because in the microscopic structure, in the slide, we have to identify the Haversian canal. Okay. Now, in most of the cases, though TS are present in the slide, that's why Haversian canal will not appear like this. How it will appear? A circle. In the middle, a circle will appear. White color circle. That will be the Haversian canal. Okay. Now here also you can see one diagram is there. Now this is not a H&E stain slide. Okay. Now before going to the staining, let me tell you one thing. Bone का जो slide होता है दो type का होता है. One is grounded, another one is decalcified. One is grounded, another one is decalcified. Now this is the grounded one. Okay. Decalcified means the previous one which I have shown you. Decalcified means where H&E stain are applied. Okay. Grounded में H&E stain apply नहीं होता है. That's why you can see the appearance. Now what you can identify over here? No. First you have to identify about the concentric lamellae. Can you see the concentric lamellae? Why I am showing you? Because same thing you have to see under microscope, and then you have to identify. So this part is very important. I will request someone to take a snap of this particular, anyone, not everyone. Done? Okay. Now let's get back to the picture. Now in case of grounded tissue, generally we don't see periosteum. जो grounded bone section होता है उसमें periosteum दिखाई नहीं जाता है. Okay, generally we don't see. So if we don't see periosteum, but we can see the circumferential lamellae. Can you see the circumferential lamellae? See, this is the circumferential lamellae. This is also the circumferential lamellae. That means beyond that, the periosteum is present. Okay, don't talk. Next, this is the circumferential lamellae. Okay, how many types of lamellae are there? Three types. Three types are there. First, circumferential lamellae, just below the periosteum, which will be parallel to the periosteum. That is the circumferential lamellae. ठीक है? Next, circle रहता है. Those are called as concentric lamellae. As you can see, this is one concentric lamellae. This is one concentric lamellae. This is one concentric lamellae. ठीक है? In between the concentric lamellae, can you see the areas? These are the interstitial lamellae. Okay, now one concentric lamellae and another concentric lamellae, okay, which are there. Now in between them, the area which is present, okay, there are some areas where the bony matrix, everything is present, but the collagen fibers are absent. That's why they appear more brighter, or you can say a white line will be there, and that is called as cement line. It is called as cement line, as you can see. See these areas. These are called as cement line. Okay, so please see the diagram carefully now. So these are the concentric lamellae. Okay. Now can you see these particular things? What are these? Anyone? No. Yeah. This one. Eversion canal तो बीच में है. This is the eversion canal. This is the eversion canal. Osteocytes present in the lacunae. Okay, these are the osteocytes present in the lacunae. Okay. Now, why it is appearing like this? Because the spaces are flattened. The lacunae which are there, the spaces are flattened. Okay, and the osteocytes are present with the processes. तो ये जो particular image है, this is not zoomed that much that you can see everything about the osteocytes. That's why it is appeared flattened, not directly like cell. It is appearing as flattened. So these are nothing but the osteocytes. Okay. Now, the previous diagram which I have shown you and this diagram which you can see over here, what do you think? Yes, decalcified. And which stain is used? H&E stain is used. Now, this is the diagram of what? Microscopic structure of compact bone. Now, here labellings are not there. Why? Because under microscope, when you will see, labellings will not be there, right? But you have to identify. Now, can you identify the structures? Wait, ये क्या है? ये what is this? Periosteum. Okay, so small part of periosteum is seen in this view. Now, if you come below the periosteum, what will be this? Circumferential lamellae. In the similar way, you have to identify under the microscope. That's why I am showing you. Okay, circumferential lamellae. So first, this is the periosteum. Just below the periosteum, you can see the circumferential lamellae. Okay. Next, can you see the concentric lamellae? This is one concentric lamellae. This is one concentric lamellae. This is one concentric lamellae. Okay. Now, if you see at the center of the concentric lamellae, what is this? Eversion canal is there. Okay. Next, can you see what are these? Osteocytes present in lacunae. Okay. Now, whenever the processing is done, at that time, shrinking of the cells takes place. Cells will shrink. Okay, this is the normal property. कोई भी cell shrink होता है whenever we are preparing the slide. That's why you can see some empty spaces. Can you see the empty spaces? Generally empty space नहीं रहता है. Though we have prepared the slide, so cells become shrink. Cell will shrink. That's why some empty spaces are seen. Okay. So see the diagram carefully. Because after this, we are going to identify the slides under microscope. So this diagram will help you to identify the slide. Okay. Now, previously I mentioned that different types of cells are there in the bone, right? So as you can see the cells, sorry. Osteogenic cells are there, then osteoblasts are there, osteocytes are there, and osteoclasts are there. And along with that, bone lining cells are also present. Okay, these are the different types of cells present in the bone. Now you have to know what are the important functions of those cells. Cells are there. Now what are the important functions? Unnecessary cells will not be there. There must be some functions. So osteoprogenitor cell, these are these develop from mesenchymal tissue and they give rise to osteoblast. Okay, osteoblasts are bone forming cells. Now osteoblast, you can see these are the bone forming cells. Functions, they will deposit the organic matrix, okay, collagen fibers and other proteins, etc., which is required for the formation of the bone. That is done by the osteoblast. Next, osteocytes are there. These are the resting bone cells. Where they are present? They are present in the lacunae, inside the lacunae. Along with that, the processes are there. Okay. Next, osteoclast cells are there. Now, what is the function of the osteoclast cell? First of all, they are large, multinucleated, and they lie in Howship's lacuna. Okay, I'll tell you what is Howship's lacuna. Function: bone reabsorption or bone removal. Now, osteoclast cells which are there, okay, what is the main function? They will remove the bone or they will remove bone tissue. Now, the question is why we want to remove bone tissue from our body? It is a natural process. See, osteoblast cells क्या करता है? Osteoblast cells will lay down the matrix, will do the calcification of the matrix, will produce the fibers and all, so that bone formation can take place. ठीक है? Osteocytes क्या होता है? Lacuna में रहता है. They are maintaining the integrity of the lacuna along with the canaliculi. Next, another type of large multinucleated cells are there. These are called as osteoclast. Okay. Now, if you see the osteoclast where they are sitting, where they are attached to the surface of the bone, the area is having finger-like projection. These are called as ruffled membrane. These are called as ruffled membrane. Now, these particular cells, what they will do, they will secrete some enzymes, okay, that will dissolve the matrix and then it can be removed. And those enzymes which are secreted, among them the most important one is MMPs, matrix metalloproteinase, okay, acid phosphatase. These are the enzymes secreted by this particular cell to remove the matrix, to dissolve the matrix, and then it can be removed. Now the question is why? That is required for bone remodeling. That is required for bone remodeling. तो suppose fracture होता है, suppose fracture हुआ है, fracture के बाद healing हो रहा है. When the healing is taking place, at that time, this osteoblasts, they will deposit the bone. Okay. Now at that time, some extra amount of bone tissue is deposited. If that is not removed, what will happen? Normal structure will not be regained. Abnormal structure हो जाएगा. Okay. So that has to be removed, and that is removed by the osteoclast cells. Where they are sitting, the osteoclast cells, due to the secretion of the enzymes, a depression or you can say sulcus type area is formed. That is nothing but the Howship's lacuna. Next, bone lining cells are there. Okay, they don't have any function in the formation of the bone. The main function is transport of various substances across the bone. Okay. Next, so type 1 collagen fibers are there in the bone. Already I have mentioned. Now they are synthesized by the osteoblast. They get embedded into the ground substance. Now the fibers are arranged in the layers, and these are called as lamellae, the lamellar structure which we have discussed. Now the fibers in each lamellae, they are parallel to each other, but fibers in adjacent lamellae, they are perpendicular to each other. So this is a very important lamellar arrangement, okay, of the compact bone. First, you can see each lamellae, the fibers are parallel to each other, but in adjacent they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, that is a unique pattern of the arrangement of the fibers. Next, what are the functions? Collagen fibers provide tensile strength, resilience to the bone. That is very important. That's why these collagen fibers are present. Next, cement lines. Already I have told you what is the cement line. The cement line does not have any collagen fibers, and it is distinctly visible. And in between the two concentric lamellae, this cement line are present. Okay, next is the ground substance. So see, we have seen the cells also, we have seen the fibers also. What is left? Ground substance. Whenever you are writing about the ground substance of the bone, what you have to do? You have to make it two partition or two division. One is the organic part, another one is the inorganic part. Okay. Now, in case of organic part, what are present? First of all, collagen fibers are there, and along with that, it is made up of GAG and PG. That means glycosaminoglycans and proteoglycans. These are present. Two special type of glycoproteins are there. What are they? Osteocalcin and osteonectin. These are the two special types of glycoproteins which are present in the bone, and they are having very important function. What are the function? They bind the calcium ions and plays an important role in the mineralization of the bone. So this osteocalcin and osteonectin, two specialized glycoprotein which are present in the ground substance, what they will do? They will bind the calcium ions together, and it forms the mineralization of the matrix. Next, inorganic ions are there. So this is the organic part and this is the inorganic part. Inorganic part में क्या रहता है? As I said earlier, calcium salts are there. In inorganic part, what is present? Calcium salts. So principal component are calcium phosphates. Okay. Now it also contains calcium carbonate, calcium fluoride, magnesium, sodium, etc. So these are the minerals which are present. Now these minerals form a needle-shaped crystal, and that is called as hydroxyapatite crystal. So the minerals together, they will form a needle-shaped crystal. What is the name of the crystal? Hydroxyapatite crystal. Okay. Now if your chemistry is very good, you can write the formula. Okay. If chemistry is good, then you can write the formula, I don't mind. But if you write hydroxyapatite crystal, it is okay. Now these crystals lie parallel to the collagen fibers in the lamellae. Okay, so these crystals, they will lie parallel to the collagen fibers. This is the arrangement of the inorganic part and the organic part of the matrix. Okay, so that is all about the bone tissue. Okay, so that is all about the bone tissue.